England. At the end of the year 1721, the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of London and Westminster has asked the Presbyterian pastor James Anderson to write a book of constitutions for Freemasonry, inspired by the duties of the ancient fraternity, but adapted to the new spirit of speculative Freemasonry.
And what if the starting point for our basic obligations were some kind of moral law? A law held in common by all good men and true. A spirituality which binds us all together, while at the same time respecting the faith of each of us. Adam, our first parent, you were the first Mason. Noah the Wise, the 9th descendant of Seth, you created the first lodge in your ark. Phaleg, you were Noah's grandson. It was in your time that the earth was divided. Moses, you were the Grand Master who led your people out of Egypt. It was you who received the sacred law. Solomon, you are famous for your wisdom. You built the temple for which your father David had received the plans.
God, who created all things according to the laws of geometry, engraved the laws of this science in Adam's heart, Adam whom he created in his own image. Adam entered the Garden of Eden, the first temple in which man could worship, in his original nature, perfect and innocent. fruits were abundant, and only the fruits of the tree in the middle of the garden were forbidden. But the serpent encouraged Adam and Eve to partake of those fruits, which was contrary to God's command. God cursed the serpent and chased Adam and Eve away from the earthly paradise. To be able to live, Adam had to learn how to cultivate the land from which he had arisen. When his sons were old enough to form a lodge, he taught them the laws of geometry. Noah received from God the order to build the Great Ark. Although the ark was built of wood, it certainly must have been built according to the principles of geometry and the rules of masonry. He was helped by his 3 sons. After the Great Flood, which spared nobody save the masons and their wives, all humanity descended from them alone. They gave masonry a second life. The entire world shared a common language and used similar words. Men had found a valley in the land of Shinar and settled there. 101 years after the flood, we find the descendants of Noah working to build one of the most famous mythical monuments known to man, the Tower of Babel. They raised their building to a monstrous height, and by their vanity provoked God, who, by confusing their language, caused the workmen to be dispersed. And when they were dispersed, they took the supreme science with them to faraway lands. Mount Sinai was covered in smoke, because the Lord had come down inside the flames. Moses spoke, and the divine voice answered him. God dictated to Moses the 10 commandments of the sacred law, the expression of God's will. God ordered Moses to build the Ark of the Covenant. This beautiful piece of architecture would later become the model for King Solomon's temple. Thus Moses became the general master mason, inspired by the most sublime knowledge in masonry.
As God revealed his will to us, he exhorted us to live a life worthy of his call, bearing witness to our resolve to leave behind that which is past, and to become new men. Does he not urge us to overcome our passions, rather than give way to what we ourselves might wish for?
The temple to the glory of eternal God at Jerusalem was begun and completed, to the astonishment of the whole world, in as little as 7.5 years, by the wisest of the wise, the most glorious King of Israel, the Prince of Peace and of Architecture, Solomon, by divine command. And during its construction, no sound of the masons' metal tools was heard, even though there were 153,600 workmen at the site.
After the building was completed, masonry progressed throughout all the surrounding nations, and then spread to Europe, where the royal art was taught to free men, thanks to the genius of those who had built such glorious monuments. When we look to the future, we are helped by looking to the past. Our Book of Constitutions must take inspiration from our abundant past traditions, according to the records which we have inherited from the lodges of ancient times. Masonry is the centre of our union, our way of cementing faithful friendships, by bringing together people who otherwise would have remained forever unknown to each other.
A lodge is both a meeting together of masons and the place where they meet, to learn from each other and to improve themselves. From the day of a mason's initiation and his first hesitant steps in masonry, he learns that the lodge is a place where everything is possible.
Our building will stand firm because our working tools are strong. But their practical value will only embrace their spiritual significance if we apply them to our morals. No partisan controversy, nor political argument, will ever be heard within our peaceful walls, because we come to each other respecting our points of good fellowship, and the signs, tokens, and words of each brother.
Brethren, let us all endeavour with zeal and devotion to fulfil the functions which the Grand Lodge has entrusted to us. May we maintain the traditions of the craft which we have regularly received, and may we transmit them to the generations to come in all their fullness. Let us lift our spirits to the great architect of the universe. May we all work without fail as good and faithful Freemasons towards the grand design of universal brotherhood.
Great architect of the universe, this book is now completed. Was I able, in this book, to express adequately the freedom granted to every Freemason, to commit to his duties, to participate in the work, to seek and to find, in a word, the necessary freedom of imagination, to work without end, from that which is perceptible towards that which is so gloriously unspeakable, from the material to the spiritual. To all Freemasons, wherever dispersed over the surface of earth or water, to be a son of light requires a particular kind of spiritual openness. May the way we conduct ourselves in life bear witness to what this hope may bring to the world.